Have you ever wondered what makes someone commit such unthinkable crimes? What drives ordinary people to become some of the most feared individuals in history? Today, we'll dive into the stories of the top 10 most terrifying serial killers in the world, each left behind a trail of horror that changed history forever. Number 10. David Parker Ray. David Parker Ray constructed a horrifying torture chamber where he carried out unspeakable crimes.
Ray, a convicted rapist and kidnapper, confessed to sexually torturing up to 40 women in this trailer that he called his toy box.
This was equipped with all sorts of torture devices, pornographic pictures. He called it the Den of Satan.
While he was convicted of multiple murders, the true number of his victims remains unknown, making him one of the most chilling figures on this list.
They think he may have killed dozens and dozens of women, but for 15 years, investigators have failed to find a single body.
Before we move on, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss more fascinating and spine-chilling stories like this. Number 9. Albert Fish. Albert Fish, called the Gray Man, was active in the early 20th century and committed crimes that are still difficult to talk about today.
The scariest and most deranged of all American serial killers. Partly, I think it was because he seemed so benign. At the time of his arrest, he was this old, grandfatherly-looking guy. I mean, seemingly very, very benign and harmless, sort of stoop-shouldered and grizzled. But he was an incredibly demented child murderer, torturer, who had spent really his whole life preying on young children.
His letters to victims' families revealed a twisted and disturbing mind, forever earning him a place in the dark pages of history. Number 8. Marcel Petiot. During World War II, Marcel Petiot posed as a kind-hearted doctor, offering refugees a safe escape from Nazi-occupied France. Instead, he murdered them and took their belongings, leaving a shocking number of victims in his wake.
Marcel Petiot, claiming to help people escape, promising them safe passage and medical assistance, he gave his hopeful patients injections. After poisoning his victims, he stole all of their belongings and butchered them before placing them in his basement furnace.
Number 7. Israel Keyes. Israel Keyes was a meticulous and calculated killer who buried kill kits across the U.S. to use whenever he found his next victim.
You're watching 34-year-old Israel Keyes describe over coffee and a bagel his strategy for hunting and killing innocent people.
Back when I was smart, I would let them come to me. I'd kind of go to a remote area that's not anywhere near where you live, that other people go to as well.
His lack of a clear pattern made him extremely difficult to track, and his crimes shocked investigators.
Keyes traveled the country from Alaska to Vermont, looking for people to kill totally at random, and funding his crimes by robbing banks. The FBI has now retraced his steps, a long list of dates and locations since 2001, when they believe he may have killed repeatedly.
Number 6. Fred and Rose West. This husband and wife duo turned their home into a house of horrors. Over the years, Fred and Rose West took the lives of numerous women, including some of their own family members. Their crimes stunned the UK when the truth was revealed.
A couple who loved together and killed together as husband and wife. From the 1970s to the 1990s, this unassuming pair from Gloucester tortured and raped dozens of young women, murdering at least 11, including 2 of their own children.
Number 5. Robert Hansen. Robert Hansen, known as the Butcher Baker, hunted his victims in the Alaskan wilderness like prey. Over more than a decade, he lured women into his trap, leaving a chilling mark on history.
The dense and rugged Alaskan wilderness provided the perfect cover for a fierce and sadistic killer. He preyed on women, kidnapping them, raping them, torturing them. He hunted them like animals for his own twisted pleasure.
Number 4. John Wayne Gacy, called the Killer Clown. John Wayne Gacy seemed like a normal, friendly man who entertained children at parties. But beneath the surface, he was responsible for the deaths of 33 young men, whose remains were discovered under his house.
Man who committed what may be the crime of the century. His name is John Wayne Gacy, convicted of killing 33 innocent people and destroying hundreds of lives. He's never talked to anyone about the case until tonight. His murder spree was first discovered on a cold December day when the first of his victims were found in the crawl space beneath his home. They were taken out one by one as the world watched.
From what I understand, he was physically abused by his father, and his father was often not available or was intoxicated. His father was also known for abusing Gacy's mother. In fact, engaging in physical fights with her that Gacy must have witnessed. Now, clearly those sorts of things have an impact on a person's development and the way they look at the world.
Number 3, Harold Shipman. Dr. Harold Shipman, nicknamed Dr. Death, was a trusted doctor in the UK who abused his position to kill over 200 of his patients. He remains one of the most prolific serial killers in modern history.
Dr. Harold Frederick Shipman was one of Britain's most notorious serial killers, and he was responsible for the deaths of more than 200 people. Shipman was a family doctor in the small town of Hyde. Many of his patients were elderly, and everyone knew and liked him. But elderly ladies started dying under his care.
He would give them a reason for him to use a hypodermic syringe on them. Time after time, these elderly ladies were left sitting in chairs, cups of tea by their side, having been given an overdose of the diamorphine that his mother would have received in her cancer treatment.
Number 2, Pedro López. Pedro López, the monster of the Andes, committed unthinkable crimes across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. He is believed to have murdered over 300 young girls, making him one of the most prolific killers of all time.
While in prison, López underwent a psychological evaluation. It was determined that he was a sociopath, that he suffered from an antisocial personality disorder.
He does not consciously know right from wrong, and he does not feel guilty or remorseful for what he does.
He is not able of understanding other people's pain or feelings, that what he does is for his own pleasure, without any concern of the other person.
Number 1, Jeffrey Dahmer. Topping our list is Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee cannibal. His crimes weren't just about murder. They involved acts that shocked the entire world. Dahmer's actions remain some of the most horrifying ever recorded and continue to haunt history to this day.
I don't know how to put it, possess them permanently.
And that's why you killed them?
Right, right. Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me. And as my obsession grew, I was saving body parts such as skulls and skeletons.
These are the stories of humanity's darkest moments, a reminder of the evil that some individuals are capable of. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more intriguing stories, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share this video with others. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.